Hi, my name is Heather and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be having playing cards choose part of my TBR for June. In June, I do plan on participating in the Whatever-a-thon. I might also do the massive readathon, which is not just reading Sarah J. Maas books. It actually just has different prompts. So what I'm going to do is I am going to draw some of these cards. I have a spreadsheet that I've made up that has different categories, and the card will match a book listed under that category, or it will narrow down a section on my shelf, and then I will choose whatever book I'm in the mood for off of the shelf. One of the categories is rereads, which is actually talking about where I started a series, I didn't finish it, so now I have to reread the first book so that I can continue the rest. I don't think I'll be tapping into that category anytime soon, simply because I have a lot of books listed under the next relevant category that I will be picking a card for this week, which is next in series, because I have started so many series this year and even previous to that that I just need to finish. So I want to make sure that I don't have a huge time gap to where I have to reread previous books in the series to continue, which is why I thought having a separate category just for next in series books would be ideal for me. So I will be drawing a card for that. Then I have a category for books that I've received through subscription boxes, like a Book of the Month. And if I'm going to be buying Book of the Month books, which is the only subscription box that I'm using right now, then I actually need to either keep up with them and read them as they come out, or throw them into this game so that I can read some of the older ones that I haven't read yet, but at least be making progress. And the more I read those books, I'll know whether I'm getting 5 stars every time and they're doing an excellent job picking books, which was my initial experience with Book of the Month, which is why I continued the subscription box, but I have yet to read a second book, so I need to get on that. I'll definitely be drawing for that category today. And then my other category is the alphabet. I have alphabetized my bookshelves, so I have that lined up on here. When I pick a card, it will align with a letter. That will be the letter of the author's last name. Then I will go to that letter on the shelf and I will pick whatever book I want that has an author with the last name starting with that letter. And then another category that I have is 2022 book haul. If I hauled the book in 2022, whether it is a new release or if it's an older book, that is going to get some priority as well. There will be some overlap where some of the books may fall under all of these categories, and that's okay. It just means if I get that book, if that's what the cards choose for me to read, then I will be knocking it off of multiple lists, which is awesome, because once I get my next in series list pared down to maybe 5 or 6 choices instead of 15 or 20, then I can tap into the reread section. And I am excited to do that because I've held on to these books because I enjoyed the previous books in the series. So these are possible 5-star reads that I would love to finish off and just solidify as a favorite book for me. So now that you know how the game works, we're going to go ahead and begin. And since I will be participating in 2 readathons, once I've selected the books, I'll see how many of the prompts that they fulfill for the 2 readathons. And if they don't fill any of the prompts, that's okay, because I have my TBR wide enough with few selections happening here that I will be able to pick other books. We are going to be choosing a next book in series. All right, let's see what we got. So we have the 9 of Diamonds. Now the suit doesn't matter in my game. I just put the numbers or the letters on the side on my spreadsheet. Some of the categories, the list was long enough to where I had 2 options, but this one only had 1 option, which was I got Monument 14, Sky on Fire by Emmy Laybourne. I read the first book, I believe last month. It may have even been this month that I read it, so it was pretty recent, and I'm definitely ready to get into the second book. This is about a group of teenagers who wind up having to hide out in a grocery store during the apocalypse. A nearby plant was testing chemical weapons that they were going to use as like military weapons to unleash on foreign enemies. However, there's an accident that happens and these chemicals are released in this city, and now the apocalypse has began. In the first book, it all takes place in this grocery store where the teens are, but in the second book, some of the teens had left to go to another area where it is supposed to be safer and they can ride it out as the climate tries to fix itself. And some of the other teens are still in the grocery store. Basically, the fog that was released affects different blood types in different ways. So that is why the decision was made for certain people to stay behind and certain people to go. But I don't want to give you any actual spoilers for book 1 because I think that you would really enjoy it. But for book 2, I'm excited to see where one of the romances goes with the main character. And I'm also excited to see the multiple POVs where we're still getting to tap into what's happening at both locations. Next up is 2022 book haul for the category. And we got a 2. This was another one of the shorter ones where it wasn't going to give me any extra options. It literally just picked my book for me. But my TBR and the cards did me right because I got Barbarian Aliens by Ruby Dixon. I'm sure y'all have heard about IPB or Ice Planet Barbarians. This is about a group of women who were abducted from planet Earth, and then their abductors have to basically cast them off onto this ice planet. I can't remember why they had to leave, but they abandoned the ladies there. So they are not well equipped to survive on this ice planet. One of the girls goes off in search of help, bumps into an alien. The aliens have this purring thing in their chest that basically tells them when they found their mate, like it's someone that they should procreate with. So he also doesn't know her language at all. So you got a lot of that in the beginning. In this second book, they will be able to communicate with each other, but I won't ruin how that comes about when you read the first book. If you're like, all I've heard is that these are super smutty, there's probably not any plot. You're wrong. There is plot, there is action, there is adventure, there are great characters, great romances. You should definitely give Ice Planet Barbarians a shot. This is the second book in the series, but they each follow a different couple. I am really excited to get into the second book. The third one is going to be coming out in the traditional format soon, so I'm glad I'm gonna get to read this one before the third one comes out, because if I love this one, I will probably wind up reading all the books, and there's like 20 books in the series. But I will wait until they come out in paperback editions because I really enjoy these covers, whereas I do not like the very much so not discreet original cover. And the third category of today is the Book of the Month / Book Box Books. I'm a little scared about this one because there's some much older books where I didn't choose the book that I was getting, like with Book of the Month, and it was just whatever they decided to put in the box. It was a mystery until I received it. So some of these I would like to read, other ones I'm just not really interested in reading right now, but my TBR has done me well so far. So let's see what we get. If I do get the Joker like this, that's a wild card, which means I can pick anything off of that category list. Another 2! This was one of my longer lists, so I actually got 2 options for it, which were Three Dark Crowns by Kendar Blake. I only have the first book in this series. It's a fantasy series. I'm sure a lot of y'all have heard something about it. I don't really know everything. I think there's 3 sisters competing to be crowned, and I believe there's 3 books, maybe even 4 books in the series. And the second option that I had to choose from was The Bride Test by Helen Hong. I really enjoyed The Kiss Quotient, which was the first book in this series. I think these are loosely connected, or it may follow some relatives, like maybe the main guy character had sisters and it's following them. I honestly don't know, but I will say that this is going to be my pick because I don't want to open up another series just yet, because I have so many series that I'm already in the middle of, and I actually am kind of in the mood for some more slightly steamy romances, and I feel like this author will definitely deliver based off of the 5 stars that I gave to The Kiss Quotient. So what is the second one about? Kai has no feelings. Well, he feels irritation when people move his things, or contentment when ledgers balance down to the penny. But he doesn't experience big, important emotions like love and grief. Rather than believing he processes emotions differently due to being autistic, he concludes that he's defective and decides to avoid romantic relationships. So his mother, driven by desperation, takes matters into her own hands and returns to Vietnam to find him the perfect mail-order bride. As a mixed-race girl living in the slums of Ho Chi Minh City, Esme Tran has always felt out of place. When the opportunity to marry an American arises, she leaps at it, thinking that it could be the break her family needs. Seducing Kai, however, doesn't go as planned. Esme's lessons in love seem to be working, but only on herself. She's hopelessly smitten with a man who believes he can never return her affection. Esme must convince Kai that there is more than one way to love, and Kai must figure out the inner workings of his heart before Esme goes home and is an ocean away. I am so happy with this. This is definitely going to be my choice because I don't want to get into another series. Also, I kind of mentioned in my BookTube newbie tag that I am like neurodiverse. I've been formally diagnosed with like an anxiety disorder, OCD, and ADD. But if any of y'all know anything about autism, generally girls get misdiagnosed or they have comorbidities. So all of those things that I've been diagnosed with are legitimate, but I think they all stem from autism that I haven't been officially diagnosed with. But anytime I do a diagnostic test, it's not even borderline. It's like, like, you definitely meet the criteria. You should probably go get tested and seen for this. So I love reading books that have autism representation because it's very infrequent that I do read a book where I super relate to the characters. So when I do have books that have autism rep, I might not relate to every single element, but I do relate to multiple ones. So like with the emotions one here, I kind of talked about that in the BookTube newbie tag, where books help me to experience those, because I have more time to process them, and they're a bit more maybe heightened in books. So I really like that. Whereas in regular life, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but maybe if you read this book, you'll understand, because I feel like I am definitely going to find this male character super relatable, and he'll be just like me. And I'm really excited about that. Totally forgot to do the last category. So now, for the last and final category, we have the alphabet one. So this is going to wind up being more of a choice for me with which book I want to do. And we have another 9! Apparently the TBR loves 9s and 2s, because I'm telling you, I shuffled these things like 20 times. 9 gives us the letter H. This is where I get to have a free pick, so I did pick a couple of options, but I'm going to make this a little interactive, and I'm actually going to let y'all choose which of these 3 I read during the month of June. I've had this one for several years. I only have the first book in the series, but I believe it's only a duology, so I'm okay with going into that, especially because I don't know if I'll actually like the book or not. I think there is some like asthma rep in here, and I also have asthma, and I don't see that a lot with characters, and this is also in a fantasy world. It says, Azure is drowning in thin air. Since she was a baby, Aza has suffered from a mysterious lung disease that makes it ever harder for her to breathe, to speak, to live. All the doctors can do is give her drugs and hope they keep her alive. So when Aza catches a glimpse of a ship in the sky, her family chalks it up to a cruel side effect of the medication. But Aza doesn't think this is a hallucination. She can hear someone on the ship calling her name. Only her best friend Jason listens. Jason, who's always been there. Jason, for whom she might have more than friendly feelings. But before Aza can consider that thrilling idea, something goes terribly wrong. The sickness catches up with her. Aza is lost to our world and found by another, Magonia. Above the clouds in a land of trading ships, Aza is not the weak and dying thing she was. In Magonia, she can breathe for the first time. Better, she has immense power, and she can use it to change the world. As she navigates her new life, Aza discovers that war is coming. Magonia and Earth are on the cusp of a reckoning. In Aza's hands lies the whole of humanity, including the boy who loves her. Where do her loyalties lie? So that's option number 1. Option number 2 is Reckless Girls by Rachel Hawking. 1 island, 6 visitors, countless secrets. Beautiful, wild, and strange, Moreau Island is a desolate spot in the middle of the Pacific Ocean with a mysterious history of shipwrecks, cannibalism, and even rumors of murder. It's the perfect destination for the most adventurous traveler to escape everything, except the truth. 6 stunning 20-somethings are about to embark on a blissful, free-spirited journey, one filled with sun-drenched days and intoxicating nights. But as it becomes clear that the group is even more cut off from civilization than they initially thought, it starts to feel like the island itself is closing in and sending them on a dangerous spiral of discovery. When one person goes missing and another turns up dead, the remaining friends wonder what dark current lies beneath this impenetrable paradise, and who else will be swept under its secluded chaos. With its island gothic sensibility, sexy suspense, and spine-tingling reimagining of an Agatha Christie classic, Reckless Girls will wreck you. And the final option is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. 2 best friends, 10 summer trips, one last chance to fall in love. Poppy and Alex, Alex and Poppy. They have nothing in common. She's a wild child. He wears khakis. She has insatiable wanderlust. He prefers to stay home with a book. And somehow, ever since a fateful car share home from college many years ago, they are the very best of friends. For most of the year, they live far apart. She's in New York City, and he's in their small hometown. But every summer for a decade, they have taken one glorious week of vacation together, until 2 years ago, when they ruined everything. They haven't spoken since. Poppy has everything she should want, but she's stuck in a rut. When someone asks when she was last truly happy, she knows without a doubt that it was on that ill-fated final trip with Alex. And so she decides to convince her best friend to take one more vacation together, lay everything on the table, make it all right. Miraculously, he agrees. Now she has a week to fix everything. If only she can get around the one big truth that has always stood quietly in the middle of their seemingly perfect relationship. What could possibly go wrong? Dun dun dun! Let me know which of these you want me to read in the comments, and I will wind up choosing whichever one it is probably by June 1st. If there's a tie, I might play Gavin's Play Your Cards Right challenge, where I pick which one I'm leaning more toward and try to play a game with cards again to determine which one wins. So let me know in the comments what you want me to read, and then I'll be able to discuss it later on. I may even do a reading vlog. So if you want me to do a reading vlog on any of these books, let me know so that I'll have that planned out for June. But until then, bye!